Cooking an amazing Thanksgiving dinner without the use of electricity is possible if you have the right tools. Hi, we're the Provident Preppers. We're almost done with our grid down cooking challenge. This has been a lot easier than the 90-day no shopping challenge. It was probably harder on our mom, but we ate really well, including a Thanksgiving dinner with our family.
We are reporting on week 4 of our 30-day grid down cooking challenge. Thanksgiving came a little bit early this year for us. We had our Thanksgiving dinner on Sunday since that's when our family could attend. This shows our turkey getting ready to go in the Bear River rocket stove.
In this photo, you can see Jonathan and Ben are both working hard to keep the rocket stove going in their shorts. It is freezing outside, and both of my guys are wearing shorts.
Here you can see a close-up of feeding the 2 rockets on the grill end of the rocket stove. In a long-term grid down situation, this would be such an amazing tool because you would be able to just burn debris and sticks that you can find.
One of the things that I love about the Bear River rocket stove is that there is plenty of space in this oven. There's that huge turkey in there along with a pie, and I probably could have put in a second pie had I made one, but it was just so nice to have it all in there, and the pie turned out beautiful. On top of the grill, we had 2 pots of potatoes going for mashed potatoes and a pot of carrots, along with a pot that had the giblets from the turkey in it, all just boiling and simmering on that grill top. And notice that absolutely gorgeous turkey. It did take a little bit longer to cook than what we had anticipated. And on top of the grill, you can see 2 pans of stuffing balls that are just being kept warm while we waited for the turkey to finish up. All in all, our Thanksgiving turkey dinner turned out amazingly well, and we didn't burn anything. I did everything that we made on the Bear River rocket stove with the exception of the gravy, which I made on the butane stove.
Now switching gears a little bit, this was my Friday morning fried rice. In this case, I was using 2 stoves side by side so that I could have the rice going and be stirring the other ingredients.
We had a friend give us a rotisserie chicken this week, which we totally enjoyed. And in this photo, you can see that I am making a bone broth using just the safe heat because I don't have a slow cooker that I can use without electricity, and it really wouldn't work well in the retained heat cooker because the bone broth, we need constant heat. We're not just trying to retain the heat, we're really trying to create that delicious bone broth. I put the pot on top of the safe heat, and it did a fantastic job of simmering it all day long. I took some of the bone broth and then made a soup using some of the leftover turkey and some vegetables, which I finished cooking in the Wonder Oven so that we weren't using any additional fuel. And then the breakfast of champions. Jonathan never approves of these kinds of breakfasts, but that's okay.
Actually, it was pretty good.
We celebrated the girls' success in their play. And so what they wanted for breakfast was orange chicken with broccoli. And it did take both of these because it was a frozen package. And so we needed to heat up the sauce packet with the safe heat. And the butane stove worked fantastically well to heat up all that orange chicken. On Tuesday night, we decided to do Dutch oven. And I made a pumpkin cheesecake and some rolls and then a delicious pot of potato corn chowder.
And here we are cooking those 3 items in the Dutch ovens with charcoal. You can see the ice on the ground. It was really cold outside, and yet these all cooked just beautifully. You can see the wind ring that we put around the bottom there to help conserve some of that heat. Garlic Parmesan rolls are one of my very favorite things, and these didn't last very long.
But the pumpkin cheesecake with the almond crust was specifically made with me in mind, and it was absolutely delicious.
And we all enjoyed this meal with the soup and the rolls and the cheesecake for dessert.
And the inspiration behind the meal was we had leftover mashed potatoes, and we always like to make sure that we try and use everything up and don't let things go to waste. And this was a great use of leftover mashed potatoes. And now for the Inconvenience Report, because this is inconvenient. I can't do things on the spur of the moment like I normally would. I really have to plan ahead. And the timing is an issue. One of the other things that's challenging is just cooking outside when it's so cold. and trying to calculate how much more time it will require because of the cold outside, similar to our turkey taking longer than we had anticipated. I just never know exactly what it's going to be because I'm not used to it. Time will take care of that, though.
Now for the safety report. We had a good, safe week, with the exception of one minor burn. One of the grandkids decided to touch the Bear River rocket stove, even though we had warned them all. It just happens, and it was very minor, so...
You don't know something's hot until you really test it. And so all you have to do it is once, and you'll never do it again.
And here's our fuel usage report. You can see that we didn't use our wood-burning stove at all during the week, but we did use the Bear River rocket stove for our Thanksgiving, and you can see we cooked 7 items. So that was quite an amazing tool, and we only used 3 buckets of wood, which when you think about it is really pretty awesome. The butane, again, continues to get used a lot. It's a very convenient tool. This week we used 2+ cans of butane. We did a little bit with the propane stove, and this week's sun oven was just not a happening thing. So, and that's the way the solar ovens are. They're just, sometimes they're really great, other times they don't work so well.
Or at all. This was a don't work at all week.
Yeah. And the safe heat, we used this a fair amount during this week. We used the candle oven just once. We used retained heat cooking a couple of times during the week. And then we did our barbecue feast with the briquettes. For more details about our 30-day Grid Down Emergency Cooking Challenge, Google theprovidentprepper.org. This week we also created a Power Out Cooking with Butane video. We encourage you to take a look. As you prepare for a Grid Down event, we encourage you to look at Urgent Power Outage, a video that we created to help you prepare and to give you information about the threat that is very real. This was based on a couple of reports, one put out by the President's National Infrastructure Advisory Council, the other put out by the Electromagnetic Defense Task Force. Both of these reports indicate that long-term power outage is a very real threat and something that we should prepare for, not just as communities, but as individuals. Take a look.
As you can see, we're doing a much better job of not burning our food. Mostly. But honestly, a lot of time we just choose to eat our leftovers cold. So, now for the questions of the day. Are you ready to cook your food during a power outage? What helpful tips can you share with our viewers? Comment below. And thanks for being part of the solution.